How you doing, guys? This is a response for the Redneck Railroad. He had posted a question asking about reverse when I was doing the 727. I didn't quite understand the question. Then he posted a video kind of like showing what he was asking. And I never showed the planetaries when I did the 727. I never, all that went in as an assembly. You guys saw the output shaft go in. Next time you looked in there, everything was in there, and then I put the two clutches in the front. The difference between the Powerglide and the 727 is the Powerglide, the piston is in the case, and there's a clutch pack that's actually splined to the sides rather than using a band that applies reverse to hold whatever it's holding on that sun and planetary gears. Okay, and there's only one set of the planetary gears, as opposed to the 727 has one set has the shell and then another set, and one of them is held, the big shell is held by a band. So Mopar decided to hold it to the case with a band. Okay, Jim decided to hold it with a case to the case with a clutch pack, and there's the same tool I used right there, the exact same tool, and he has it threaded to the back of the case, and he's taking out the piston, which is right here. Okay, that's how they get the gear that you're talking about. There is nothing that slides across the hub. All those splines that you see, or the, I guess we call them splines, are splined into the clutch packs, which are right here. It's hard to see. Okay, and the clutch packs is freewheel unless you apply that clutch. So, like I said, I didn't show you guys the planetaries, like the pictures you showed. I didn't want to get into that. That's a video on itself, probably an hour-long one, explaining how you hold certain things and drive certain things to get you different gear sets. I will say that first gear is 254 to 1. Second gear is 140 something to 1, and third gear is 1 to 1 on that unit. Like I said, if I would have known there was interest in the planetaries, I would have just put them on the bench and did a video on how planetaries work, and you hold things and whatever. It gets complicated fast if you don't have the stuff in your hand and you're trying to visualize what the other person's saying. Most people just get confused, and it just gets confusing really fast. So, but I know in this book it has the elements in use charts for all the trannies somewhere in here, like earlier on, and it shows. See, now here is the unit I just did. Right dead center where my finger is the shell that came forward, and my second band went around. Forward of that is a planetary set, behind that was a planetary set. Powerglide only has one planetary set, and instead of holding the shell, you're actually locking clutches to the case. Chrysler doesn't lock any clutches to the case. I don't know where that is. I'm going to pause you a second. Okay, now according to this, if you're in drive low, it says the low band is on. If you're in drive high, it says the high clutch is on. If you're in manual low, it's the same thing. In reverse, it just shows you the reverse clutches. That's all it shows for the elements and use chart on a Powerglide. I've never dealt with a Powerglide. Torque Flight and the C3 and C4 transmissions, obviously a little more complicated, is what I was on. There's always a difference between drive low and manual low. But drive low is the one-way clutch, Sprague, mechanical diode, depending on who has the copyrights and the registered trademarks on it. Then it's the forward clutch or rear clutch. They like to do that to confuse you. Okay, the forward clutch was the one I had with the spline sticking out. In Mitsu land, we called it a dick clutch. I can't even say that without laughing. And that's all that's on. Drive second. Okay, it's not relying on that one-way Sprague anymore, because the shaft is spinning the opposite way now. It went to go this way because you were putting a load on it. It couldn't go, But now there's no longer a load in that direction, so the sprag isn't using. If the load was going in that direction, the sprag will always be used. The same forward or rear drum, you see it's on the whole time. So when you put this car in drive, that clutch comes on. Period, and stays on. In second, the band comes on. So you have that rear clutch and the band. When you go into high, you have that same rear clutch, and you have the front clutch. So two clutches lock the input shaft to the output shaft. Okay, that's it. Manual low, they have an asterisk next to the one-way clutch, because the one-way clutch is used, but the low and reverse band is on. So technically the low and reverse band is preventing the sprag from doing anything. That's why when you put it manual low and you let go of the gas, you have engine braking, because this drum cannot spin both ways like it can here. This way it spins one way and then it's free. When you put it manual low, it can't spin either way, so you get engine braking. In reverse, it's the only time that forward clutch or rear clutch isn't on. Okay, it goes to the front clutch, and it goes to that band that we put in the back. So once you know this, and a customer comes in and says, well, my car is doing this, you can look at the chart real quick if you don't have it memorized, and you can say, oh, okay. You know what I mean? If the customer says he has no reverse, go right to reverse. What's on in reverse? My front clutch here, which is also used in high, and my low and reverse, and my manual low, which the customer's never going to notice. So now if I take it down the road and third gear is working, you go right to here. If I take it down the road and third gear isn't working and I don't have reverse, then you go here. That's the way an elements and use chart works. And they are slightly different for all different units. So, and this is nothing compared to today. Today it's nothing like this. Nothing like this. So, but unfortunately nowadays, since I switched brands, I don't overhaul units anymore. So there's really no need to diagnose it. If the unit fails for a certain gear or whatever it is, they just want pressure checks and they want you to tell them what you feel's wrong with it, and you send it back. So Mitsu's a little bit different. I needed to know what was wrong with it before I went into it. So when you opened it up, you weren't relying on that smoking gun. Because if you're relying on that smoking gun, not only are you not getting any better as a technician, okay, you're becoming a parts changer, and B, sometimes you don't see that smoking gun. You might say, oh, look, that seal looked a little stiff. Then the whole time you're overhauling it, the whole time you're putting it back together, the whole time you're putting fluid in it, and the whole time you're about to road test it, you're like, did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? And you don't always get it. So, with that, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. Like I said, I hope that helped. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't give you guys a video on the planetaries and how they work. We're past that. Stripey doesn't want the parts to come out anymore.